Now we'll go on to the opinion essay. An opinion essay requires your opinion on a topic which you must support by reasons and examples. The question might ask, how far do you agree with this? Or, do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? So you know they're asking for your opinion. In this case, be ready to state your opinion clearly in the introduction and supported by reasons and examples in the main body of the essay. Even if you totally agree with the topic, you should also include the opposing viewpoint in another paragraph. This shows the examiner that you have considered the topic more widely from another perspective as well. You can use the discussion clock again to generate strong reasons to support your viewpoint. Just be sure that your supporting evidence matches your opinion.
As you can see from the opinion essay structure in the middle, we follow the 5-paragraph plan. Begins with an introduction, then there's a main body which has 3 paragraphs. 2 paragraphs support your opinion, in other words, the opinion you gave in the introduction, and 1 paragraph should give the opposing viewpoint. And then we finish with a conclusion, which should restate the same opinion you gave in the introduction, just in different words. Let's look at these examples of opinion essay questions. The first one says, a considerable amount of money is spent on exploring outer space. The money should be used to solve problems on Earth. How far do you agree with this opinion? So we must be careful to analyze the question carefully. The question does not ask if we agree that a lot of money is spent on outer space. That is a given, it's a fact. The question asks if we agree that the money would be better spent on solving problems here on Earth. So analyzing the question is very important so that you answer the correct question. The second question says, differences between countries become less evident each year. Nowadays, all over the world, people share the same fashions, advertising brands, eating habits, and TV channels. Do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? So again, they're asking for our opinion. The question begins again with a statement which is indisputable. Differences between countries become less evident each year. It's a fact. The question we must answer is, do we think there are more advantages or disadvantages of everyone around the world being the same and having the same interests? So from these 2 questions, we understand that these are opinion essays, and we must follow the structure for the opinion essay. So let's look at the structure for opinion essays in more detail. I like to break it up into its separate parts. For the introduction, I follow the GOT structure. G, the first sentence, is the general statement. We begin with a general statement which paraphrases the issue in the question. I say paraphrase because it's not a good idea to copy the same words in the question. And there are many ways here to begin your general statement. For example, it's generally agreed that, it's a well-known fact that, it's an undebatable fact that, nowadays we're all becoming aware of the fact that, or recently there has been a tendency towards. So that's your first sentence of the introduction. The second sentence should give your opinion. You must decide, do I agree or disagree with this statement? And you can introduce your opinion with any of these. I'm inclined to believe that, I'm convinced that, or I'm not convinced that, or I strongly agree that, or I strongly disagree that. So give your opinion in the second sentence of the introduction. The third sentence is your thesis statement, in which you tell the reader what you are going to do in this essay. In this essay, I will justify my opinion using relevant supporting evidence and examples. So that is a simple structure to follow for the introduction. If you remember GOT, it's very easy to write your introduction. Let's look at an example introduction together. The question here says, nowadays, littering is a common phenomenon in urban areas and in the country. People who litter should be punished. How far do you agree with this statement? Well, let's think about this. First of all, what is the question? The first one says, nowadays littering is a common phenomenon in urban areas and in the country. Is that the question? No, it's not. That is a fact. The question is the second part. How far do you agree that people who litter should be punished? So what do we think about this? Shall we agree or disagree? Well, let's agree. First of all, we need a general statement. Look how I have paraphrased the general statement, the question. Nowadays, we're all becoming aware of the fact that many thoughtless people, both in rural areas and urban areas, throw rubbish on the streets. So I've tried to avoid using the same words. Now for the opinion, I strongly believe that such behavior should be penalized. Again, I have avoided the same words as in the question. And the thesis statement, in this essay, I will justify my opinion using relevant supporting evidence and examples. So you see the simple structure GOT, general statement, give your opinion, and the thesis statement. That's the introduction. Here are some more examples for opinion essays. Look at number 1. It cannot be denied that science is advancing rapidly. In my opinion, it has made our lives much better as people can live longer and enjoy more comforts. In this essay, I will justify my opinion using relevant supporting evidence and examples. So you can see the general statement begins with it cannot be denied. The opinion in the second sentence. What does the writer believe? Is he for or against science? It has made our lives much better as people can live longer and enjoy more comforts. So it's clear from the second sentence what the writer believes. And then the thesis statement. In this essay, I will justify my opinion using relevant supporting evidence and examples. Let's look at number 2. Nowadays, it is common practice for the medical industry to use animals for testing new drugs and medicines. I'm convinced that scientists have no moral right to do experiments on animals. In this essay, I will justify my opinion using relevant supporting evidence and examples. So, what is this question about? What are they asking us? Well, if we read the opinion, we should be able to understand what the question was or what the opinion of the writer is. I'm convinced that scientists have no moral right to do experiments on animals. So obviously, the question is if we believe that it's okay for scientists to use animals, and this writer is clearly against. Look at number 3. What's this question about? Every major city around the world has a zoo where all kinds of animals, including rare species, are exhibited. I'm inclined to believe that keeping animals in artificial environments is unethical and destroys their natural instinct. In this essay, I will justify my opinion using relevant supporting evidence and examples. So what does the writer believe? Is he for or against zoos? Well, if we look at the opinion, we understand that the writer is clearly against zoos, and he will support that viewpoint in the body of the essay. Let's have a look at some more questions for opinion essays. And you can practice writing introductions for these. Look at number A. These days, crime around school premises is an increasingly concerning issue. Surveillance cameras are the most effective way of reducing crime in schools. To what extent do you agree? So once again, the question begins with a statement. Crime is concerning. It's an issue which is alarming. The question asks us, do we agree that surveillance cameras are the most effective way to reduce crime in schools? So be careful to answer the correct question. Look at number 2. Again, the question begins with a statement. Water is a natural resource that should always be free. We have to, they're asking for our opinion for the second question. Governments should ban the sales of bottled water. So we are asked whether we believe that government should ban the sales of bottled water. And the last one says the length of the working week does not leave enough time for the needs of people today. The question we are asked about is if we believe it should be shortened so that people have more time, more free time. So practice writing introductions for these essays by following the GOT structure. Let's move on to the main body structure of the opinion essay now. As you can see, the main body is just 3 paragraphs. 2 of those paragraphs support the opinion you gave in the introduction, and the last paragraph gives the opposing viewpoint. It's always a good idea to show the opposing viewpoint, where logical of course, as this means that you have considered the topic from another point of view as well. Look at the first sentence. Of course, it's the topic sentence with the first reason to support your viewpoint. And you can choose any of these beginnings for your topic sentence. One way to support my opinion is that. Or for the second paragraph, another way to justify my opinion is. Or from a social point of view. Remember the discussion clock we talked about earlier. Could be from an economic point of view. In other words, whatever point of view you like to take, you can begin your topic sentence like that. So the topic sentence is just a short, clear paragraph to say this is why I believe what I do. Sentence 2 should be an explanation or justification of your topic sentence. In order to think of what to say, you can ask yourself questions such as, why do I believe that? Or what do I mean by that? Or how? And try and make this a complex sentence. As we said before, this shows that you have more advanced grammar. The third sentence of the paragraph should be could begin with one of the following. This is a further development of the paragraph. There are many ways to do this to expand your paragraph further. You could choose any of these. In addition, and give another sentence to support your topic sentence. You could give a personal example. You could talk about statistics. Or you could begin, this means that, this shows that by doing this or as a result. Or you could use a second conditional. If this happened, then this would happen. In other words, if plus past simple would plus infinitive. So there are many ways to develop your paragraph further. So again, as we said, follow the 3-sentence paragraph structure for your main body, topic sentence, explanation, and further development. And as we said, we need 2 main body paragraphs to support our opinion, and then the 3rd paragraph should give the opposing argument. And you can begin your first topic sentence with "it could be argued that," and then follow the same structure for main body essays. And now for the conclusion. In the conclusion, we restate our opinion, but try to use different words here. And remember, the opinion should be the same opinion we gave in the introduction. Don't change your opinion in the conclusion. Here's an easy structure to follow. In conclusion, although there are several arguments against X, as outlined above, I'm inclined to believe that these are outweighed by the arguments in favor. Once again, if appropriate, you could finish with another sentence to round off your conclusion more smoothly. Could begin with any of these. However, ultimately, if, using a conditional, or on no account, using an inversion sentence. So following this structure, so practice following this structure for opinion essays that we discussed, and I'm sure you'll find it easy to write your essay in the real IELTS test. Let's look at some sample essays together. The first one says, smoking is the cause of millions of deaths each year. Therefore, there should be a worldwide ban on smoking. To what extent do you agree? Well, what is the question? So let's analyze the question first. First, there's a given statement. Smoking is the cause of millions of deaths each year. That is a given statement. The question we have to answer is, to what extent do we agree that there should be a worldwide ban on smoking? So let's look at this essay. First of all, notice the separate paragraphs. Begins with an introduction. There are 3 main body paragraphs and the conclusion. Let's look at the introduction first of all together. The first sentence, it is a well-known fact that over recent years there has been an increase in the number of smokers globally. That is your general statement. Now for the opinion. Now the writer will answer the question. However, I believe that this disturbing trend should be reversed by prohibiting the cultivation and sales of tobacco. So he clearly gives his opinion that I don't like smoking. It should be prohibited to cultivate and sell tobacco. In other words, he's paraphrased the question. He hasn't used the same words. And the thesis statement, in this essay, I will justify my viewpoint using relevant supporting evidence and examples. So that's the introduction. Now for the main body. The first paragraph of the main body begins with the first topic sentence which supports his viewpoint. One way to support my viewpoint is from a health perspective. So you see, just a short, clear topic sentence which gives the first reason for his opinion. And then he goes on to support that, to explain what he means. Not only can this habit lead to lung cancer and respiratory illnesses in the smoker, but it can also affect the health of those around who smoke, who inhale the smoke. So this is a complex sentence using not only, but also. And the third sentence begins, recent statistics have proven that passive smokers are exposed to the same dangers as the smokers themselves. So the further development sentence, or sentence 3, gives statistics which support the previous sentences of the paragraph. Let's look at the second paragraph. With regard to the economic aspect, Smoking adds an extra expense to the smoker's budget. Topic sentence. Now I'm going to talk about the economic aspect. Explanation in the second sentence. Its cost can be quite significant when calculated on a monthly basis, not to mention the financial burden of medical bills for visits to the doctor. So it explains the first sentence, and it's a complex sentence using not to mention in the middle. And the third sentence, our further development sentence begins, this money could be used for more productive reasons, such as your business or even a holiday for relaxation. So the whole paragraph is coherent. It all has the same topic. Now for the opposing argument, paragraph 3 of the main body, and it begins. It could be argued that the tobacco industry provides a vital income for families in developing countries. Topic sentence, that, there is a benefit of this tobacco industry. They make a living from growing crops, drying the tobacco, and preparing it for distribution to developed countries to be made into cigarettes. So this explains how these families in developing countries make a living from smoking industry. Third sentence, these families would lose their livelihood if a worldwide ban were enforced. So the third sentence of the paragraph has a second conditional. And now for the conclusion. Again, as we said, we restate the same opinion we gave, but look how we have paraphrased again. In conclusion, although there may be valid arguments in favor of banning smoking, I'm inclined to believe that this practice is dangerous for health and economic reasons. However, governments should provide financial assistance to tobacco farmers to change their crops in order to ensure a steady income. So as you can see, this essay follows the structure we talked about, the introduction, 2 main body paragraphs which support your opinion, opposing argument, and the conclusion where we restate our opinion. This is another opinion essay. This one says, too much emphasis is placed on examinations today, therefore they should be abolished. How far do you agree with this opinion? So if you read this essay, you will see that again it follows the same structure that we talked about before. So study the structure for essays that we talked about and these model essays, and I'm sure you will find that it's not that difficult. It just takes practice and you'll be able to write a high-scoring essay.